Hey everybody, welcome back to JT channel, and before we get into the Saturday night's main event review, for my more regular viewers, just a quick little housekeeping thing here. I will likely not be doing MAW tonight. There's just too much going on. I've been working. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm doing this video, and I have other things to do this evening. I'm trying to keep a little mystery on the channel for when I can. And also, I keep talking about playing a video game for the very first time. That's also not going to happen for a couple of days. Just been doing a lot, like I said, between work, my birthday, and all this other stuff going on. I need to kind of space stuff out. So MAW will either not take place this week, and I'll do like a bigger episode next Sunday, or I'll do a random day in the week to do an episode of MAW. And then the other game I'm going to start playing was supposed to be yesterday. Instead, it'll also be in a couple of days. So for your regular viewers, just bear with me on those couple of things, and we will get there. I've got other videos planned as well. Gonna be busy couple of days here. Probably a busy week here on JT channel. But now that that's out of the way, it is time for the Saturday night's main event review, which took place, last night. Excuse me, Saturday. Just gonna walk through it as always. Remember, I'm not here to walk you through matches. I'm just here to give you my reviews and reactions. And the first match of the night was a perfect example of why I am not here to review the matches bit by bit, because it was CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman in their corner. You don't want me to sit here and bore you, tell you what move happened here, what move happened there. This was an absolutely fantastic match. Great way to start the show. CM Punk got the same reaction he did on Raw. It seemed like the crowd was really waiting for CM Punk. When Sami Zayn's music hit, he got a reaction, a good reaction, don't get me wrong. But you could tell that they were like, oh, okay, well, yeah, Sami Zayn. But they were waiting for Punk. Match started as a brawl. Of course it did. And one thing that I can tell you for sure, this is not a prediction, this is a spoiler. Braun Breaker will main event WrestleMania within the next 5 years. Okay? I don't see a reason for him not to by, next year, by WrestleMania 42. But if WWE's going to try to be patient with it, I think by WrestleMania 45, WrestleMania 46, Braun Breaker will be main eventing night 1, night 2, maybe one year, the next one the next year. He is the future of the WWE. Seth Rollins is a great person to put him with, and Punk and Zayn did great together. They really did. This was a really good match, really good spots. Braun Breaker's diving spot onto the announce table, more dives and more brawls on the floor, and this, that, the other. Again, what do you expect? It's CM Punk and Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. CM Punk and Seth Rollins continue to really be impressive together, because I know in real life, Seth doesn't like Punk very much, but they're professionals, and they always do so well together. Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn, we've seen wrestle before, but seeing it again and seeing this version of Braun Breaker was a little different, and it just was a really fun back and forth. Lots of big moments, lots of big sudden impact moves from Braun Breaker. So good shit. Obviously, it was never going to be any kind of bad. But that being said, we always have to talk about the big moments in the matches. And when it comes to this match, it was the closing moments where Paul Heyman grabbed somebody's foot. I feel like it was Sami Zayn's foot, and referee saw it. So him and it was referee and Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman were all hollering and yelling at each other while CM Punk was dealing with somebody on the outside, when all of a sudden somebody ran him over, just ran through him outside the ring. It was completely obvious who it was. It wasn't a secret like a lot of reveals are. It was Bronson Reed, who I thought was going to be out for even longer than he was, but he comes out. Or he comes from the crowd, he smashes CM Punk, then he runs through him through the barricade. Sami Zayn's like, what the hell? And then he gets, I think he got speared by Braun Breaker. I feel like that's how the match ended. I'm sorry if I can't remember. Again, I've been doing a lot, so. But Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker get the win. Afterwards, Bronson Reed comes in the ring, and Braun Breaker's like, what the hell, why are you here? And then Seth goes around him and gives Bronson a big hug, and then Bronson and Braun shake hands. So it was a little reminiscent of Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, joining the bloodline, where Jacob Fatu was like, what? But it seems like they're going to lean more towards they're all going to get along just fine. And then Bronson hit a tsunami on Sami Zayn, or CM Punk. He hit a tsunami on CM Punk, and that looked really good. These three look insane together. I mean, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, this is a great faction. I'm really ecstatic to see what they get up to next because of what happens in the main event. I know that Jey Uso isn't going to be their partner, so I'm trying to figure out like who's going to help CM Punk and Sami Zayn take on these three. So I don't think it's going to be Roman Reigns. He's taking some time off, and also was just announced that he's going to star in the Street Fighter movie. So I'm not really sure who is going to help out against this faction, but that's what makes it interesting, is what's happening where. And I mean, I know Seth Rollins wants the world title, so maybe we're heading towards something like at SummerSlam, but we'll talk about that later. But very, very good match. I loved every bit of it. I lost my mind when Bronson Reed showed up. I love Bronson Reed, so this is going to be cool. I can't wait to see how this goes forward. Next up was a match that got added on Friday. I love it. I really should wait to do my picks and predictions until like Friday nights or Saturday mornings, because this happens once in a while. Chelsea Green, against Zelina Vega for the United States Championship, Women's United States title. Kind of exactly what you expected it to be, honestly. It was a really good match, though. Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega, sorry, those are Matt, have good chemistry. Obviously, the Secret Service, Alba Fire, and who is it? Piper Niven. I almost said Dewdrop. They got involved a bunch. Sorry if I cut off there. I'm dealing with stuff. But pretty much what you expected. Plenty of interference. Plenty of distractions. Zelina Vega messed up a 619 and had to just throw her leg and busted Chelsea's nose open. That shocked me. I got a little frustrated with one of my friends because he commented, "Nice botch," and you all know I hate that fucking word. It's more of a swear word than fuck as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, she did mess up a 619. I don't know if she didn't have enough momentum or what, and she just kind of threw her leg to try to catch it. And yeah, Chelsea's nose was bleeding pretty bad. The match ended with a code red from the second rope that looked really, really good. It was fine. I know the Women's United States Championship has not really been pushed much, but it's been pushed better than the Women's Intercontinental Championship, if that all makes sense. I was happy to see it on an event like this. Chelsea and Zelina are very, very good. The question is, what do you do with Chelsea and the Secret Service now? And who is Zelina's next challenger? So, good match, fun match. Not as much to talk about. Obviously, I kind of blew through it, but Zelina Vega retains her title. Next up was the match that probably had the most intrigue, in my opinion. Sorry, I say intrigue. I don't know why I pronounced it weird. But it was R-Truth versus John Cena. This was... I wish it would have gone a little longer. It was probably the shortest match on the show. I'd have to actually look at the times. But John Cena comes out. His music cuts off early because he doesn't want people to have fun. And then R-Truth comes out to John Cena's music, does the John Cena babyface entrance, running down the ramp, high-fiving the fans, doing this and everything. Absolutely hilarious. Super entertaining. Gets punched in the face. They wrestle a little bit. They don't really do a whole lot. John Cena does his shoulder tackle, bomb, five-knuckle shuffle, goes for the AA. R-Truth, shoulder tackle, bomb, five-knuckle shuffle, hits the AA. That was pretty cool. But what it came down to was shortly after that, John Cena beat him up for a while because he was pissed off. He ran out, he grabbed his title, went to hit R-Truth with the title, but second-guessed himself. He was like, I don't want to do it, and made R-Truth all happy and stuff because it seemed like Cena was second-guessing himself. But he handed the belt to the referee. Referee turns around. He low blows R-Truth. AA, 1, 2, 3. I don't know what else you wanted, what else you expected. Yes, I picked R-Truth, but I knew John Cena was going to win. I wouldn't call it a squash, but it was very, very short. I'm really trying to think in my head, right up here, about what else happened, and it's not much. I mean, they kind of fought. And then they did the back and forth 5 moves of doom, a little more fighting, title shot, no, low blow, AA. So, perfectly fine match. I had a good time watching it. And R-Truth's just the man. I don't know what we're doing next. Well, I do know what we're doing next, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Because up next was the steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This was awesome. It really was. As far as match quality, this was the match of the night. These two beat the piss out of each other, if I'm being completely honest with you. They started fighting on the outside of the cage. Drew McIntyre brought in a couple chairs, and I mean, they hit each other a bunch. We got that cool superplex spot where the guy is hanging from the cage, and he gets superplexed from the top rope. In all reality, right, if you think about it, I'm sorry to ruin wrestling for you, but it's just a regular superplex, because that's how high you go normally. But because they're hanging from the cage, and they didn't have to be lifted up, and you're like standing on the rope, I guess, it looks a hell of a lot cooler. We had plenty of cool trade move spots we didn't expect. Damian doing the Claymore, Drew doing the South of Heaven, Damian doing the South of Heaven. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to like stutter like that, but once again, I'm trying to think of like stuff to tell you guys, and I mean, this was just a really good match. Like, if you have Peacock and you can go out of your way, I would watch this match over all the rest. As far as just straight up match quality, obviously there's other things to see. Bronson Reed's return, and we're talking about the main event here shortly. And it's gonna be interesting to see what they all do next. I guess Drew McIntyre's taking some time off, which is why I talk about the finish. They had a chair set up in the corner, and Drew put Damian's head right against the chair, went for a Claymore. Damian missed, so he just kind of Claymored the chair. And then I think Damian hit a South of Heaven, and then Damian hit a Concerto, which I did not expect, but he did. He Concerto Drew McIntyre. Michael Cole even mentioned that's what Damian Priest did to Edge way back when he kicked him out of the Judgment Day. Then he walked out of the cage, and Jesse the Body Ventura was on commentary the whole time, right? I love him so much because he's a complete moron, and he makes me laugh. He got mad at Damian Priest for walking out of the cage instead of crawling over the top. It was so funny. He's like, okay, so you just walked out of the cage. Why don't you go have your limo driver open the door for you? Anyway, really hard-hitting, really, really good. I picked and predicted Drew McIntyre. This was a big surprise to me. Obviously not up to the Concerto. But I'm definitely not mad at it. Really happy for Damian Priest. Hopefully he does something big next. I assume he'll be in Money in the Bank. Why wouldn't he be? He was the last Mr. Money in the Bank, so it makes perfect sense that he would be in this year, so qualify for it, whatever. And then, yeah, I guess Drew's taking some time off, so good for him. Again, fantastic match. Damian Priest wins by Concerto, boom, and escaping the cage. I don't talk about the backstage skits very much. I just talk about the things that need to be discussed, usually just the matches. However, I don't remember exactly when this happened, but I saved it for now. I don't know if it was right after this match or right after the last match. I don't know. But we go to the backstage area with Jey Uso. And guess who decides to walk up to Jey Uso and have a bit of a conversation? John Cena. This was something that I was not anticipating, but I was kind of hoping would happen. Like, I was hoping eventually John would acknowledge the other world title and either talk crap about it or maybe try to fight for it. But either way, this was the first time that finally happened. And he was telling Jey Uso that, could you imagine if you lost your title to a YouTuber? That would ruin wrestling a little bit, wouldn't it? Good luck, champ. And when he said that's going to ruin wrestling, my brain went nuts. I was like, is he going to, like, cost Jey Uso the world title here tonight? So, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul comes up next. I said this during the picks and predictions video. They had an awesome match. Jey Uso is a really good professional wrestler. Yes, he is. Shut up. Yes, he is. And Logan Paul obviously is really good. We all know how good Logan Paul is. Nobody argues with how good Logan Paul is. They just don't like him. So they had a great back and forth. Lots of dives. Lots of, big moves. At one point, he went for the snapshot lariat. I think is what they're calling it. Hangman Adam Page's buckshot. A little slingshot front flip clothesline. And he got caught with a super kick. He threw Jey Uso into an exposed turnbuckle and then hit him with the right hand. None of these moves were the 3. They were all 2 counts. But in all reality, there's only one thing you guys really want me to talk about. If you don't know, obviously spoilers. Why am I saying that anyway? But we need to talk about how the closing moments of Saturday night's main event went down. So, Jey Uso, I think, hits the spear or the splash, or one of the two, or both, or something. And he goes for the cover. Ref goes 1, ref goes 2. Ref gets absolutely launched under the bottom rope by John Cena. At this point, I was freaking out. I thought this was about to happen. John Cena comes in, starts beating the hell out of Jey Uso, just punch, 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 punch. Just punching him, kicking him, stomping him. And again, you have to remember that before this, he kind of set this up by saying, well, that would ruin wrestling, wouldn't it? And John Cena wants to ruin wrestling. And then, I don't want to say predictably, because I don't think anybody really predicted this, but it had to happen soon. Cody Rhodes' music hits. He runs down to the ring in his big jacket, beats up John Cena, hits him with the, hold on now, Crossroads, and then Logan Paul goes to hit Cody Rhodes, misses. He gets hit with the spear, the splash. Referee comes back in. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso retains the world title. Saturday's main event's got like 18 seconds left. So Cody Rhodes grabs the microphone. Lillian Garcia, love seeing her, announces Jey as the winner. Cody says, well, I'm sorry that the John Cena retirement tour had to come through Rhodes country, but I'm back, and it seems like you got yourself a partner in Logan Paul, and I got myself a brother in Jey Uso. We'll see you at Money in the Bank. So, as Saturday night's main event cut off, we got a match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are going to face John Cena and Logan Paul at Money in the Bank. So, what is happening? What year is it? What town is this? What universe is this? First things first, like I said, the match was great. I knew the match was going to be great. Very entertaining, very fun to watch. I like how John Cena pulling the referee out wasn't a disqualification. He took the referee out, and the referee didn't know what happened. It's fine. You can complain about it if you want, and you probably will. The internet wrestling community likes to complain. But I enjoyed the match. I obviously never bought Logan Paul winning, but I did buy the idea that John Cena costing him could be a thing. Like John Cena helping Logan Paul win the world title, and then imagine John Cena and Logan Paul run wrestling. Okay, so I bought that for a little bit until Cody's music hit, and then I was like, okay, we're all safe. Woo! As far as the aftermath, absolutely fucking brilliant. This idea of John Cena, the 25-plus year WWE veteran on his retirement year, is teaming up with Logan Paul. I don't need to explain Logan Paul, to take on the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. It's amazing. And plus, John's the WWE Champion, so at Money in the Bank, we're not getting a title match or anything. We're getting both World Champions on opposite sides of the ring. I think that's absolutely fucking amazing. I keep saying absolutely fantastic or brilliant. I don't know what that means. In 2 weeks, I'm going to have to do a picks and predictions video for Money in the Bank, and I don't know how that match goes. Does Cody pin John? Does Cody pin Logan? Does Logan pin Jey and get a rematch? Does John Cena and Jey Uso, do one of them pin each other? What is going to happen at SummerSlam? That's why I mentioned Seth Rollins earlier. We know Seth wants the world title, right? So you got to assume that SummerSlam is going to be Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. And then Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. So how do we get there? What? Oh! So I'm clearly very, 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 very excited about what's coming up. An awesome ending to a pretty good show. I wouldn't say it's mediocre. It's pretty easy to watch, but it's must-see to a certain degree, especially the opening match, the steel cage match in the main event. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with the Women's United States title match or R-Truth versus John Cena. They're both very, very good. But once they're over, you're probably going to forget about them and just kind of move on to the next thing. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Again, in case you, forgot or zoomed through the opening just to get through the review, no MAW tonight, no other video games right now. I have to get through this review. I have a bunch of stuff to do at home. I have to work a bunch. But there may be an extra, a special MAW episode this week, and then in a couple of days, you'll see, if you haven't figured it out yet, you'll see what game I'm talking about that I cannot wait to start playing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you want to see next as far as, what I've got coming up. And I will say another video you should look out for is there will most likely be a surprise review video coming out tomorrow. and I'm very, very, very excited that I get to do that. So until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, and I will see you in the next one.